Needless to say,
Welcome to the Fret Frontier. In today's episode, we are continuing our series where we build a open voice chord accompaniment for the pop song Take On Me. So we're turning it into like a ballad arrangement. In our last episode, we broke out the bass layer. So we picked our bass notes. When we take a look at what happens in our first harmonized section, we're basically taking the bar chord, we're dropping everything off of it except for the bass note and the note that is on the third string. Okay, so that's our general rule. And the other rule that we have to support that is the key that we're in. What are the notes? We're going to play notes across the third string. That's going to be where we put our harmonization, across this third string. And remember, in last episode on this topic, we put our bass notes on these three strings, 6, 5, and 4. Our harmonized layer will be the third string, and our drones, our upper drones, will be strings 1 and 2. So let's take a look at what goes on the third string. What's our note population? So we take a look at the key of A. We have A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, and A. So when we get to make our harmonization choices for our bass notes, it can either be a note from the chord or it can be a note from the scale. Back to this first chord, first measure of the song, we have a B minor chord. We used B as our bass note. If we take a look at this B minor bar chord, what's the note that's on the third string? If we drop everything away, we're left with the 7th fret of the third string. We play that with the B that's on the 6th string, 7th fret. We have our first harmonized pair. So we'll play the B with the D. Okay. Then what is our next chord? It's an E chord. If we take a look at our E, we did E in the bass. And we've got two choices, really. If we want to take a look at this bar chord, that would be close in this area, right? This would be our E bar chord. And we drop everything off except for the note on the third string. We have another E here, right? We've got an E on the 9th fret of that third string. And we could play that with the E. But the other thing that I'm going to add to this is keeping things compact, minimizing the movements as I do this harmonization. So if I take a look at where I am, I just played B with D. Okay, if I play E with D, still sounds okay. And we're going to maybe oversimplify just a little bit, but we can think of our general rule here is that we can use that D with the E because it's in the scale. It's in the scale we're using. It's one of the notes in our note population when we went across here, right? A, B, C sharp, D. D is fair game. So we're going to stay there. So this is our first two measures. B with D, E with D. Okay. Now what's our next chord? A. So if we take a look at the A bar chord, what's the note that's on the third string? If we drop everything off, we've got the second finger on this 6th fret of the third string, and that's our C sharp. Okay. So when we play our A bass note, we'll use the C sharp. Okay. Then our next chord that we want to harmonize is D. All right. If we play the D, once again, if we're doing this D bar chord, think about the chord. We drop everything except the note that's on the third string. We'd end up with another D. So then we have an octave again, which is a little bit boring and also causes us to move. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to stay right where we are when we play the A. So we have the A with the C sharp. We'll play the D with the C sharp. Okay, it's a little, stretches the ear a little bit. There's a little dissonance there. It's interesting. It sounds nice. So that's the other thing, right? We always want our ear to win. Are we enjoying this? Does it sound nice when you're putting it together to your ear? If it does, it stays in. If it doesn't, throw it out and try a different note. Okay, so far we've got our harmonization for the first 8 bars really, because the first 4 bars repeat in this song. So we have B with D, E with D, A with C sharp, D with C sharp. Okay. Then when we go on to our next line, again, we've already done the B minor, right? So we've got our B with our D. We have another E, same thing. Okay. Now we need an F sharp. Okay. This was our bass note, F sharp. Again, we take a look at this bar chord. Start off with the chord. We have our F sharp bar chord. What is left when we drop everything off except the 3rd string? And it would be the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. Okay. So now we've got F sharp with A. Okay. And then the next chord is actually D, but I'm using E in the bass. So that's actually the 9th of your D chord, because I just like the way it sounds. So back to, do you like the way it sounds? When I started, I was using the D with the D chord, but it sounded too resolved and I wasn't done. I was going to keep playing. So I wanted to hear that E instead, that 9th on there. And I can also, okay, this is part of the D chord when we think about what's happening here in terms of the tonality. So we can keep that A, is what the point of all that is. After we do that F sharp with the A, we can do the E with the A. Okay, and that has gotten us through the verse. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to do our verse. Bring up the notation for this. So same rhythm, right? 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 Okay, and we'll say the names of our bass notes as we go through this, just getting familiar with it. 1, 2, 3, 4. B. So now let's go on to our course. And we decided to go down, and when we were doing our bass notes, we're staying in this open position here. So now we've got our first chord is an A, right? And then our first rule we apply, right? Drop everything off the chord. What's left on the 3rd string? Do we like it? And we do. It's an A. So we're playing the A with the A, bass note A on the 3rd string. Then when we do our E, if we had our open E position, drop everything off, what's left? G sharp, or 1st fret, on this 3rd string. Do we like it? It's fine. So we're going to take that. Then we come back to an F sharp, and we'd already figured that out before, right? We're going to do the F sharp with the A. Okay. And then we have a D. We're coming to a D chord. Drop everything off. What's left? The A. So we don't end up having to move, right? So we have A with A, E with G sharp, F sharp with A, D with A. Okay, and that's all we have to do for our verses. So let's go ahead and apply our little rhythm pattern to that on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, E, 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 F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, D. Let's do it again. A, E, E, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, D, D, D. All right, you've gotten to level 2, harmonizing our bass layer with notes from the chord or the scale across the 3rd string. So now we've got basically 2 little instruments playing together. In the next episode, we will add in our high strings, giving us a nice, colorful sound on the top, and I'll give you some insights into the names of the chords we end up with. So we're no longer playing just plain B minor anymore. We'll have a B minor add 11 no fifth and cool chord names like that. So you'll find it's much easier to play really complicated chords than you thought. It's just about what notes have you picked, what tones are ringing out, are they all in the tonality of your song? Do they sound good to you? Are they creating an ambiance or an atmosphere for your vocalist that supports the mood that you want to create to bring the lyrics forth in the best possible light? All right, thanks for joining me. I hope you're enjoying this series, and I'll see you in the next episode.